So, the Doom beta has come and gone, leaving behind it a trail of shotgun shells, gibs and hype. For the uninitiated, it was a multiplayer only beta and consisted of 2 game modes, 2 levels, 8 guns and a bunch of power-ups. Doom 4 has definitely dropped back in the direction of the golden days of fast and furious FPS, where regenerating health was a power-up and the colour palette had more than grey and brown. True enough, it hasn't fully broken a trend of semi-military shooters. The movement speed is slightly reserved, classes dictate your weaponry, and executions are a big deal. The movement is very fluid and in all honesty, in a firefight you don't even notice that it's slightly slower than classic Dooms. It can sometimes feel like it's taking forever to get from fight to fight, but this only makes up a minor amount of the game time. Back when Doom 3 came out there was a lot of complaints that the weapons felt weaselly and ineffective. Fortunately, the weapons on display in the beta were much more satisfying and the attention to detail was almost difficult to appreciate amongst the action. Everything from the sounds to the little screens displaying ammo counts made the game that little bit more captivating. And just like all of the excellent deathmatch games over the years, putting both barrels through your enemy's head as you jump over them is just as satisfying each and every time you do it. The weapons also have an alternate fire mode, albeit on several of them it was just a zoom, but weapons such as the plasma rifle and the lightning gun made the arena that little bit more lethal. Melee and glory kills seem somewhat lame, as with the press of a button you can insta-kill someone below a certain HP. They can't do anything about it, and you don't even need to aim when you do it. As long as they're on the screen you'll get it. The weapon unlocks come thick and fast, and no weapon ever feels irrelevant, so no one ever truly has an advantage over each other. The levelling up system was firing colour options, armour changes and hack modules out so fast that it was often overwhelming to try and keep up with the amount of new stuff you were getting. It may have been accelerated slightly for the beta, as there was only a small window to actually try out all of the items, and the level capped out at 15, which was achievable in about 6 games if you did well. The levels available were very open and easy to get around, with options to jump over, around and through any fight that occurred. Especially with some of the new movement mechanics like the double jump and the ledge climb, there were so many ways to approach a situation that you were almost spoilt for choice. It meant that you can ambush the enemy from almost any direction, or equally you can be ambushed, making every second that little bit more tense. Ultimately the fights generally become a ball of explosions and gibs, and a well-placed rocket can swing the fight in either direction. The levels in the beta weren't particularly catered to the Vortex rifle, so it will be interesting to see how relevant this becomes on a larger scaled map. Also, the fact that there are 3 power-ups on offer to fight over, most of them countering each other, you generally know where it's going to hit the fan. The main feature is of course the Demon Room, which makes you more mobile, stronger and basically an unstoppable killing machine. That is until someone brings along the Gauss cannon to the party and ends your fun with 2 massive blasts which send your bony butt straight back to hell. And of course you have the traditional quad damage and haste power-ups just like in the good old arena fighting era. There was no soundtrack actually in game, but the music in the menu had dashes of classic Doom references. I hope this will be the case for the rest of the soundtrack. Graphically it's not a game that's going to break any records, but by no means is it an ugly game. It is much more vibrant than almost any other FPS released in the last 10 years. Disappointingly, not all aspect ratios were available in the beta, which could have impeded a lot of people's experiences. Hopefully this is just a limitation in the beta and not in the full game. As far as bugs go, I didn't experience any glitches as such. The only notable event was when the wrong team was announced as the winner and for some reason had organised the teams as 7v5. As you can probably tell, I thoroughly enjoyed my time in the beta, and I'm looking forward to the full release. It is without a doubt the most fun I've had in a multiplayer FPS in years. It's littered with those moments that make you feel so badass that you just want to jump back in and do it all over again. It is slightly concerning that on the final day of beta it was slightly more difficult to find games. Whether this was due to server issues or the player base was dropping off, I'm not sure. Ultimately, I think that beta is a good omen that this could be more like classic ID games with modern influences rather than the other way round.